I'm so sorry. That was not the filter that I chose. But, oh, wow. That's making me dizzy. Whoo. That's not the one I wanted either. I did want hearts. Where is it? Is it this one? No, that's not the one I wanted. Nope, that isn't either. Holy moly. Like, okay. So we're just going to leave it on the hearts. Or I can actually turn it off as well. But anyway, hi guys. The reason why I'm coming in here today is earlier, several of you, and I want to thank those of you that have, I posted something earlier, and if you didn't get an opportunity to add your 2 cents, that doesn't mean you're late that I'm coming in here and talking about it now. You can always go and add your thoughts to this as well. And the reason why I do some of these posts is really to truly understand people better, because I don't always understand myself. So if I can help somebody else, sometimes that makes what's going on in my life a little less whatever, fill in the blank, right? So anyway, what I did is I put a post today and I asked for people to respond to what word comes to mind, or words that come to mind when you think of wellness. And if I would go back through, and I went through and I read everybody's, but if I went back through and did kind of some tally marks, I would imagine, and if say I had 100 people, I would imagine that the majority of people would pick something that had to do with physical health. The wellness part, like, that your blood pressure's good and your sugar's under control, your cholesterol is fine, and you really want to think about the physical wellness. And I guess when I first heard the word wellness, that's what I thought. Am I sick or not sick, right? Hi, Uncle Lynn. And I think that's what a lot of people gravitate towards when they think of the word wellness. And so lately, I have had, and I've shared a little bit of some struggles, as we all do. And my struggles aren't any more important than anybody else's out there, but one thing that I do know is they're mine. And one of the things that I have been struggling with is not exercising, not eating right, but my emotional wellness. And it can be something that takes you down quickly if you don't recognize your emotional wellness. We all know what happens when we get the flu, when we get a cold or bronchitis or pneumonia. We all know what happens when disease enters our body, or things like that. We all know what happens, but we don't always know or see the signs of emotional unwellness. That can be anything that makes you behave in a way that's just not what you feel is your normal. Okay. That's what I truly believe. So if you have emotional unwellness, and this is from no book, this is truly from my own brain and the way I think about things, is, that when you have emotional unwellness, you just aren't yourself. You aren't approaching every situation the same as you would normally do that. And again, we're making a stretch there as to what normal is for everybody, because everybody's normal is different. So one of the things that I have been trying to practice, as you hear me say practice, is self-care. Now, and if you have ever been a part of any of my groups, or if you've just tuned in to any of my live broadcasts, self-care is really big. And I think it was my sister who posted in here, or in that post, the balance of mind, body, and soul. And I think when you are someone who is practicing self-care, you are trying to do things that feeds the positive energy of your mind, body, and soul. And I think when you don't have the means to feed those three things, there is obviously there is an unbalance. I know that there's not a day that goes by that I absolutely know that I'm going to get my workout in and it's going to be done. That's the habit that I've created. It's like brushing my teeth. And that works so well for me. The next thing on the line, if I were to rank them, would be my nutrition. And I know there are going to be some of you that are surprised by that. But when I'm feeling stressed, or when I'm feeling alone, or when I'm feeling seasonal, whatever. I mean, like today has been just a super cold day, blustery and blizzard conditions. And yesterday it was rainy and sleet and freezing rain. And at some point, I can't embrace winter anymore. I want warm weather. I want sunshine. So for me, when I have that moment where that hits me, that seasonal, and some of you may not know what this is, SAD, seasonal affect disorder, where when it's constantly not sunny, like it's been in PA, you feel a little down or depressed or whatever. And some people it's really a problem. And so one of the things that I try to do is I try to take vitamin D supplement. And am I good at it? I mean, meaning that I do it every day? No, some days I forget. And the last couple of days I have. And when I do, I instantly can tell that things bother me more. I get a little more grumpy or grouchy or very reactive to situations instead of taking things as they come. One of the things that I don't ever want those of you that follow me, and I appreciate that you do, and I appreciate that you support me by sharing the videos that I come on and do. But one of the things that I probably never have spoken it out loud is that I do feel that I suffer from seasonal affect disorder. And I don't know why I'm getting so emotional about it. I guess it's because I'm in a state of unwell. I don't ever want to portray to you, and I know a lot of times when you go on social media, you get the highlight reel of people's lives. You see the fun videos of vacation or the fun photos of the event they went to or whatnot. And not everybody comes on here and shares the gloomy. So one of the things that I'm trying to practice is to be honest in how I feel. And I want those of you out there that feel that some days you have to throw on that fake smile. Because nobody really wants to hang out with somebody that's gloomy all the time, right? So what brought this on is a couple different things. I had advertised out to you guys that my sister and I were joining forces and doing some, that I do health and wellness, health and fitness coaching. My sister does a different kind of coaching where she helps people, women especially, become more wholehearted in their life's journey, do things with purpose, help them to find grace. And so I would, if for lack of a better term, more of a life coach. Okay. So we are joining forces in the sense of I am just hosting her with a group of ladies, locally at the fitness center. This is where we're meeting. And some are tuning in. It's a 12-week course using the book Gifts of Imperfection. And so tonight is our second session, and we had to do a couple assignments, read some things out of the book, find a picture that we feel that most represents who we are. And I haven't shared that photo yet with the group. Once I do, I will share it with you, but I think you're going to be surprised as to what I chose. I really tried to be honest, because our next journey, part of this journey is authenticity. And I think if you are truly an authentic person, you live who you are. You really don't try to mold yourself into somebody that you think everybody else wants to see. So for a long time, I felt that I was supposed to be the person that made people laugh, which I'd still love to do. That was someone who, always fit in, that would say the right things and help people through their struggles. And I try to do that on a daily basis. But what I want to say to you is sometimes in our lives as women, as moms, as friends, as whatever, we tend to put ourselves last in that category. We're so focused on helping others that we tend to lose ourselves in the process. And we no longer are who we are supposed to be. So for me, this is what I call Wellness Wednesday. Part of me trying to become more well-rounded or have a more balance to my mind, body, and soul is doing things like reaching out to my sister and doing this course with her. The other thing that I do every single day is personal development. When I was a teacher, we had to do professional development. We had to go and, listen to somebody talk about best practices and how you can help kids learn in a certain way and whatnot. And I never, ever in my life before then thought about my own personal development. Because yes, I can learn all kinds of skills to become a better teacher or a better fitness instructor or a better boss. But if I don't learn how to be a better person first, none of those things are going to work. So one of the podcasts that I listen to every day is, not every day, but listen to, is, now I can't even remember the name of it. It's Brendon Burchard, if you've ever heard of him. He wrote the book High Performance Habits, but he's doing a series on wellness. And my sister told me about it, and I kind of kept it tucked away in the back of my mind. And this morning when I wanted to do my personal development, a lot of times I do things that have to do with business because I'm in business for myself. I'm trying to become a better leader in my life in many different ways. And so a lot of times I choose the podcasts that tell me something about how to become a better leader. Like this past weekend, I was at a new leader conference. And learning how to become a leader of, helping other people become better leaders and just being a better leader in general. So, but this morning it just wasn't falling right. It was the things that I would normally listen to get me started for my day just didn't tug. And so I was, just flicking through and I listened to or saw Brendon Burchard's series. And I'm like, oh, that's right. And I started to listen to this series that he put out. And I think it's like a 10 sessions. I don't remember because I was scrolling through and I just wanted to get to number 1, day 1. But day 2 talked about wellness. And wow, did it hit me. Did it hit me about relationships and how I am showing up in my life in terms of other people and in myself. Okay, I don't want this to be this. And in the course of my day, I had somebody message me that I had reached out to invite to help. It's someone that has in the past reached out to me about their physical health and wanted my services, and it wasn't the right time. And so I'm constantly reaching out to people and sharing what I know and what I've learned and offering my help and services to them. And so anyway, she reached back to me and she basically said that she doesn't have the time or the money for her own self well-being. And it hit me that a lot of people say that, right? We all say that we don't have time to do X, Y, and Z, or we don't have the money to do X, Y, and Z. And so in further discussion, the time aspect is she's a mom. And she's a mom that has more than one child. And as a mom, I only had one child. So I don't know what it feels like to have multiple kids and feel like you don't ever have time for yourself. And in my when I was raising my son, and now he's 22, I mean, I still feel in certain ways I'm raising him still. I don't think it ever ends. But the thing that always resonates with me when someone says that to me is I go back to that whole self-care aspect. And I'm finding that I'm speaking to people about this, and I'm also realizing I'm not doing it myself, or not to the degree that I feel that I need to do it. And I guess what I want to do is I want to apologize to those of you out there that I've said that to, because I don't want to be a hypocrite. I have been struggling with several issues going on in my life right now that I really can't speak to just yet. And they are truly things that are somewhat inside of my circle of control. But when I get to that point where I feel like I don't have a choice, I choose food. I choose food as something that it's not. My tears aren't of shame. It's just I want to be honest with you guys. Food is not our friend. Food is our fuel. And I struggle just as much as you guys do every single day with that. I came home last night. I was feeling very alone. And as we all do at certain times in our lives, and not that I didn't have people to reach out to, because I do have my people. And the first thing I did when I got home was went to the pantry. My old habits returned. Now, I didn't eat a pan of brownies, which is really what I wanted. But it's the same habit that keeps coming back over and over again. So what I do know from that is I'm not taking care of myself. I am not addressing the things that I need to address to make me feel better about the choices that I'm making. So for me to come on here as a health and wellness coach, as a health and fitness or nutrition and fitness or whatever you want to call it, and not admit to you guys or say to you guys that I struggle with emotional eating would be a lie. I've been struggling probably for the past month with emotional eating. It's real. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But I want you to understand that you're not alone. You're truly not alone in that. I joked about a week ago, I had made some pecan butter. I really was excited to try it, and I did something that I normally wouldn't do, and I added some honey. And it's not a big deal, right? It is a big deal when you are someone that's addicted to sugar. And I want to say it in the sense of, if I were an alcoholic, I wouldn't have made a drink and just thought that I could have a little bit, right? When it's something like sugar, even if it's honey, something that's better, a better version of sugar or sweeteners, I can't have it. I can't have it and not want it the next day or think about it. And, I'm not saying that you have to totally never, ever, 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 ever have sugar again or whatever it is that you feel that you is a no-break food for you. But if you are in an emotional state of unwell for whatever reason, having an awareness of the fact that that's what you're doing and that's the reason you're doing it is to try and help yourself feel better when you know in the end that you're not, is something that has to be addressed and worked through by giving yourself grace and practicing self-care. So I apologize. It's one of the things that I have promised myself. Okay, here's what happened. A guy on a bicycle, and why? Because it's only 30 degrees out, just rode by the house and the dogs are going berserk. This is my life. One of the things that I have promised myself that I was going to do, no matter what, is I need to get back into my practice of meditation. I don't have a strong practice of meditation in the sense of I haven't learned how to practice the kind of meditation that you could just sit down and do it. I have to have, for now, the guided meditations. And I only usually do 10 minutes because I have monkey mind. I constantly am doing other things while I'm trying to meditate. So I have decided tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and even though that's a day that we officially, celebrate love, I'm going to declare it for myself as Self-Love Day instead of Valentine's Day. It's important that those of you out there that are moms, that are wives, that are sisters, that are friends, and I'm not trying to not include the men because you're just as important in this as well, is that you give yourself some grace and you give yourself practicing self-love things. Me being an emotional eater is not self-love. I don't do it out of loving myself. And I recognize that, and that's half the battle. So the other piece of this is figuring out all the things that led me to wanting to do that instead of doing the things that help me, like meditating, like taking a bubble bath, like getting my nails done. I know it sounds very superficial, but whatever it is that you think that you need to do to give yourself... Now my dog's throwing up. Isn't that wonderful? Are you okay? Nothing like having a dog and it just snap you out of what's going on. But anyway, find one thing, even if you've never done this for yourself before, even if you think that you don't have time to give yourself some time, find one thing that you can do and start at 10 minutes to do for you every single day, because I guarantee you, if you do those things for you, take the me time, you will be a better mom, a better wife, a better friend, a better leader, a better supervisor, a better nurse, teacher, whatever your job description is, whatever responsibility you have, you will so much, that doesn't make sense, you will be so much better because you worked on you first. It's not selfish to take time for you. Your children especially see that, oh my gosh, mom thinks she's important. Do you want your kids to think that? I do. I want my son to think, man, mom really thinks she's important. And I don't mean it in an ugly way. I mean it in a good way. Like my health and wellness is important. And that's what makes me a better person. So as it's nearing this day, this month of heart, Valentine's Day, please take some time for you. One of the things that's going on in the group that I'm hosting this month, the theme is Love Your Bod, and it's not all about your body, but it is we're doing a bingo card, and we're having all of the participants And all the things that are on the bingo card are things that you can do to give yourself some self-love and self-care. I would love for you to report back to me, even if it's not today, but tomorrow, especially on Valentine's Day. Give yourself something, some time, some self-love. Maybe it's taking 20 minutes out to just read your favorite book or listen to a podcast. Something that's making you a better person by doing it because you're more relaxed or you feel fulfilled. Because if we don't take the time to do that, we end up going back to our original habits that got us to the point where we were tired, fed up, overweight, unhappy, lonely, whatever. And I want us together to break that cycle. I want us all to break that cycle. I'm not saying that there can't be a moment of step back and whoa, that happened again. Okay, now I'm more aware. I challenge you, and not in a bad way, it's a good challenge, to find something that you can do every single day for yourself first. Make it a priority. For me, getting my workout in every morning before I start my day is my self-care. That's part of my self-care. But there are other things that I need to do during the day to continue that self-care. And it might be something as simple as speaking up. Speaking up when you disagree, not feeling small. But that's up to you guys. So anyway, with all that being said, I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. Please know that you are so not alone in the struggles that you have. And if you feel that you are alone, please reach out. I have a group of women from all over the country that battle all kinds of different things. And I know we can find someone for you to talk to if you feel that you are alone in whatever it is that you're going through. I promise you, you're not. So anyway, have a great Wednesday afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow.